Yeah. Welcome to the Greg Cherry Show. I am in a good mood today. Happy Veterans Day.
As you should be.
All of our retired and currently active military members, obviously. Today is a great day to celebrate.
Yes.
As is every day, but today is specifically for them. I am, of course, your host with the most, Era Holtz. And I'm telling you what, this weekend was such a good weekend. It was such a great late birthday present for yours truly. And we will get into that during the course of the show. It was one of those weekends where the heart was racing, and in more ways than just football.
Right?
Knows what I'm talking about. But it was such a great weekend, such an enjoyable weekend. Probably one of the best weekends I've had in a long time. I got some more of my Rumble watching done also.
There you go.
So I'm through the year 2000. I've watched up through the 2000 Rumble. I'm saving 92 for last by design.
Oh yeah, have to.
I have to because, and I'm really hoping like my bias doesn't take over. But it's one of those things where the 92 Rumble was generally everybody's favorite Royal Rumble match, but I want to make sure I rank it properly.
I wonder though if you're keeping it last and you watch it last, are you still keeping proper perspective to rank it?
Well, what I'm doing as far as my scoring goes is I'm scoring each individual match and leaving some comments. And then what I'm doing is I'm hiding those scores in my Excel spreadsheet. So I am not judging them. I'm not judging them based on any other criteria than just that particular match. I'm not looking at, hey, how did I judge this match in comparison? It's like, no, I have to go in completely clean slate to every single match.
Right.
And now that I'm in the 2000s, because I've watched all the TV ones, I've watched 88 through 2000, 92 aside.
Right.
So now I'm into 2001 through 2020, which also includes the women's ones, and it also includes the greatest Royal Rumble.
Right.
So it's going to be an experience. I want to get it done, preferably before the 2021 Rumble.
Sure.
I mean, I kind of have to put that time limit on myself, but
right,
it should be a good one.
Definitely.
So we're gonna have some fun today. We're going to have some fun because on today's show, and yes, the Cherry for Quizzlemania thing, I'm bringing it back because I know I haven't done it the last few weeks.
Right.
But I feel like we need to bring it back. Quizzlemania 22, big time, because, you know, they got to rip off WrestleMania. That's happening tonight. It's a 6-pack challenge with 6 people who have already all been on the show multiple times before. It's like, you know, you just sent out a tweet saying, hey, we want some new people on the show. And then you do a show of just people you've had on the show before.
They're scared. We know it.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. So tonight, believe me, I'm going to super chat them and tell them Cherry for Quizzlemania. You should too.
That's right.
On today's show, as we already briefly brought up, football wrestling talk like we do every Wednesday during the season. Weird Law Wednesday, and hopefully this is not too much a shot in the arm to the Irish's opponents this past weekend. We're doing Weird Law Wednesday, South Carolina.
Oh my God, too funny.
And of course, the Wednesday Q&A. So get your questions ready. We will answer them. And of course, go to Twitter. Talk to Parts Fun Known. Talk to Adam Blampier. All the people. And tell them you want to see hashtag Cherry for Quizzlemania.
That's right. Always.
Now, Jeff, as we did last week, we're not going to do this football wrestling talk alone.
No.
We are bringing back one of our favorite people to talk about football with.
Absolutely.
And fellow Steelers fan, ladies and gentlemen, Big Baller G is in the house again. What's up, G? How you doing?
Good, fellas. How we doing? Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there who served, who is serving, you know. Most of my family served. My dad served, 2 of my uncles, my grandpa, and one of my aunts have served. So
Nice.
Well, thank you for their service.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, I've had several members of the family active in one way or another. I we pretty much everybody on my side, before my dad did, my grandparents did, my aunt did. It's a very it's a very weird thing. Like I have never had the inclination to be involved in the military. Not I don't like the military, or I just never felt that need to be doing that. And I totally appreciate the need and the desire of some to serve in that way. I think it's pretty freaking cool. I respect the hell out of them. I really do.
Yes, we definitely appreciate. And it's funny because they brought up Tribute to the Troops is returning.
Yeah.
And what a day to announce that. It's been a while since they've done a Tribute to the Troops televised special.
I think last year they didn't show it, or the past 2 years. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think those might have been house shows, or I know they've done like Starcades also during that time frame.
Yeah,
but it's I brought this up. I don't know if it was on the air or not. I don't remember because it's been a weird week. But not having Starcade be a thing on the network the first year in Greensboro in the Coliseum was a huge opportunity missed.
Yeah.
And if they don't air Tribute to the Troops this year on TV or on some sort of broadcast platform after the shit show of a year this country's had, they're screwing up.
well, it's supposed to be December 6th on Fox is what
good.
My understanding.
Right.
Cool.
Based on what I read.
Right.
So that'll be cool.
Definitely.
And hopefully, I know like COVID and all that stuff is going on. I'm hoping that the news reports are true, that they are going to try and have fans for, if only one show, for the Royal Rumble. And I don't know how they'll do it, but I know that the Rumble is one of those matches that truly needs fans to be there for, because you need those reactions. And it's one of those things to make sure everybody's safe, everybody's tested, all that. Assuming that vaccine doesn't come to America before then. But the Rumble is one of those shows that truly needs the fans. And it's going to be so weird this year, regardless of how it goes down. But 2022 Rumble should be it. I'm hoping it's back to relative normalcy by then.
Definitely.
But also, as you can see by my shirt, as you can see by Big G's gear, we're going to talk some football. And I'm going to talk about Saturday first, because Notre Dame Clemson was probably one of the best college football games I think I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
It was dramatic till the very end. My watch yelled at me that I had a high heart rate, and I was like, no shit. It's like, are you watching this game?
All right.
Notre Dame went down.
I know I'm in trouble.
Yeah, Notre Dame went down and scored to tie the game with 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And then it went to overtime. And then it went to a second overtime, and Notre Dame's defense in the second overtime took over.
Yeah.
And it was just a thing of beauty to see. 2 sacks to start the drive, an incompletion. When you put Clemson back at 4th and 24, it doesn't matter if you're the number 1 team in the country or not. That is tough to overcome, a 4th and 24, barring a penalty or, escaping through some ridiculous hole in the defense.
Right.
But Notre Dame pulled it out, and it hasn't happened. Notre Dame has not beaten a number 1 ranked team since 1993.
That's fantastic. Good for them.
Wow.
So the last time they did it was they beat Florida State, and And a lot of people, and I hate this comparison being made, they were like, oh yeah, they beat Florida State and then they lost to Boston College the next week. We just beat Clemson and we face Boston College this week. It's like, are you freaking kidding me?
Right.
But you know what? We're not going to hang our hat on, hey, we just beat the number one team in the country. We can coast the rest of the way. Brian Kelly better have those guys ready.
Oh, yeah.
Because Boston College, and especially Phil Dracovic, who is a former Notre Dame player,
yes,
is going to be looking to make a statement. I mean, Boston College almost beat Clemson.
They did.
So that tells you how good they are.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, I want to see, I don't know if I want to face Clemson again in the ACC championship, but it's the likely scenario. And then I'm hoping, depending on how that ACC title game goes, Notre Dame back in the playoffs, and this year looking like way more of a chance than they had in 2018.
Right.
Because 2018 was full of hope. They were an undefeated season, and then Clemson just destroyed them. But this year, they took it to Clemson and beat them. So I feel like the Irish are in a place that they finally have the tools to be the best team in the nation. And if anything good comes out of this crazy year, a Notre Dame national championship would be fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, when was the last time the Dodgers won the World Series, Jeff?
88. Sorry, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff, but 88. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Notre Dame's last national title. Also,
Yeah.
was 1988.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yep.
I mean, I will. Let me put it this way: if Notre Dame wins the national championship, I'm probably going to be in a pool sobbing of my own tears, just so freaking happy.
It's the year for it, right?
Yes.
Without question.
Now we're going to talk about Sunday, which I know Jeff is not exactly looking forward to, but quite frankly, neither are we.
Right.
Because Sunday was not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. Not that any Steelers game is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially the last 3 weeks.
No.
Yeah. But the Cowboys damn near pulled the upset.
Yes,
They did.
And I still don't understand Mike Tomlin's decision to not go for a field goal on 4th and 1 down at the 10. He said, because we think they're going to block it. It's like, okay, but take a shot at points as opposed to doing a running play on 4th and 1, especially when you know that the Cowboys are going to crowd the line. What are you doing? Right. Fortunately, it didn't bite them in the butt. It really should have. But questionable decisions throughout that game. I know they blocked 2 extra points, or that, but
they blocked the one. He missed the other one.
Yeah, he missed the other one and he blocked the other one. But it's like, listen, Boswell also made a 59-yard field goal, which is a Steelers franchise record.
Yep.
So you can't tell me that you're not going to trust him for what would have been a 27-yard field goal, something like that.
Yeah.
Take the points. And if Dallas goes down and scores, they need a 2-point conversion to tie. But if they score a touchdown at the end, if you decide to go for it and miss it, then they win. You have to play the game for the points. If they block it, then hope they don't return for a touchdown. Or if you miss, then they have to start back from the 10 or whatever. It's take the points, move on. But
it's really not the rocket science that people think it is to, coach football. It's not. It's really simple stuff, and it seems like these coaches, especially, and I don't know if it's the 2020 in the air or what, but the coaches in the NFL this year just have made me scratch my head repeatedly. It's just mind-boggling to me, some of the decisions they're making.
Yeah, it's definitely mind-boggling.
Yeah,
really confusing some of the things that they're doing,
for sure.
But it's one of those things. Mike Gonzalez says the Giants will win the NFC East and the Cowboys are done. You have to understand.
God, Mike. Hush your mouth, Mike Gonzalez.
Let me tell you something, Mike. The division leaders are the Eagles at 3-4-1.
Yeah. The freaking East is a shit show. It just is.
We've gone over this the last several weeks. The NFC
Yes.
East is probably the worst division in NFL history this year.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, but the teams aren't out of it. They're not out of it. I mean, the Eagles nearly beat the Steelers. The Cowboys nearly beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
The Giants didn't.
Yeah.
Washington probably will come close because Steelers play down to their competition.
Right.
Which is obnoxious beyond belief.
Yeah. I hate. It's so funny. The recent championship, LA Kings did the same thing. Like the years after we won the cup, like the first couple of years, we would play the powerhouses like we were a powerhouse, and then freaking Ottawa would come in and we play like freaking D5 Mighty Ducks. Like, what the hell are we doing? Like, why is this happening? Why? I don't understand why championship level teams tend to do that. It's very bizarre in sports.
Well, it's funny because speaking of championship level teams and players, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers set an NFL record this week.
Oh, jeez. Freaking Bucks.
The Buccaneers only rushed 5 times the entire game.
Yeah.
Which was an NFL record for the fewest rushing attempts. And Brady threw 3 picks?
Yeah.
So there must have been like some sort of magic in New England when Brady and Belichick were together, because whatever was happening there, everything clicked.
Yeah.
And now the Patriots and the Buccaneers are both abysmal. It's like it had to have been the combination of the two.
Well,
Brady on his own, Belichick on his own. They're disasters.
Yeah. I said this yesterday on Staff Boy Sports Bar. Whatever's going on in New England, and I am no Patriots fan. I've made that more than clear in the last few years, but they need to do something to pull the nose up, because there's no reason that the combination of Bill Belichick and Cam Newton should be doing this poorly. And they almost lost to the friggin' Jets. Like, no.
Mm-hmm. The 0-9 Jets.
The 0-9 Jets almost beat Cam Newton and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things. I think they play each other later this season too.
I think so.
I don't know if that was their first game against each other. But I mean, when the Jets are chasing down the Colts and the Browns, or the Lions rather, not the Colts, the Lions and the Browns for 0-16 supremacy.
Right.
It's not a good thing.
No.
What else do you guys think about the rest of the league? Because a lot of the league is not being talked about as much. I mean, you have the Kansas City hype out there.
Yeah.
You have. There's not a whole lot being talked about in the NFC. There really
is.
The
NFC. I mean, you have your teams. You got the Saints that are looking okay right now. Who else? I mean, that's the only team I can think about. The Seahawks.
Seahawks, Packers. Yeah.
I do want to talk about Sunday's game though a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know what it is with the Steelers. I message Greg every Sunday when we play. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Giving me a damn heart attack. I need to wear my watch on Sunday and see what my heart rate is after we play the Bengals.
I'm telling you, it's not a good idea, because I had my watch on for Notre Dame Clemson, and like I said, mine yelled at me because it's like, your heart rate is unusually high.
Yeah.
But we do have some news. 5 Steelers are on the COVID list. Vance McDonald, Vince Williams, and 2 other people. Oh, Jalen Samuels and somebody else.
Yep.
And they're in isolation for 5 days. And if they test negative throughout the week, they are active for Sunday. So
I think Ben already passed clearance. I think.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
So this will give, if he doesn't practice till Saturday, this will give him time to heal up his knees.
Yep.
Because thank the Lord above that his cleats did not dig into the ground, because that would have been it.
Yeah, we showed that clip yesterday on the sports bar. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. I do want to read off some records that were broken on Saturday or Sunday with the Steelers. Obviously, the 78 Steelers record was snapped. This is the first time the Steelers have been 8-0 in history, which is tremendous. I'm reading here they lost to Houston in Week 8 against then the Tennessee Oilers. What else happened? Steelers extend streak of non-losing seasons. This is the 17th straight non-losing season. The last time the Steelers failed to reach 500 was in 2003 when they went 6-10. And obviously, this was before Big Ben's time. I think it was Maddox and Stewart at the time.
I don't even know if Stewart was still there. Pretty sure Tommy Maddox was running the ship.
Yeah. Let's see. Tomlin ties Schottenheimer, I guess, for the most wins as an active coach. 14 consecutive non-losing seasons to start a career.
And it's one of those things. Talking about that, it's like people give Tomlin so much crap, right? Like, oh, you inherited Bill Cowher's team, blah 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 blah. This is 14 straight seasons that the Steelers have been 8-8 or better.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, Belichick isn't even doing that right now. And people praise Belichick for being like the greatest coach in the history of coaching sports ever.
Yeah.
You tell me, it's like Belichick should be one of those people that are like adapting to that.
And the Steelers are the only team, if I'm not mistaken, that have only 3 head coaches since their inception, or since the Super Bowl era, if I'm not mistaken. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and now Mike Tomlin.
If you're a Steelers coach, you're here for the long haul.
Yep.
We have high standards.
There's a couple more. Ben breaks regular season record. He became the first NFL player to be on a 17 non-losing teams without ever being on a losing team.
Insane.
Roethlisberger passes Marino. Let's see. Roethlisberger for 6 all-time with 68 300-yard games. Boswell beats Anderson and Brown. Obviously, you mentioned it, the 59-yard field goal. Sack streak continued.
54.
The sack streak has continued. We've one sack to 65. Pittsburgh currently leads the NFL with 32. And that's it for the records. I mean, a lot of records have been broken. And I liked Ben's quote on Sunday. He said, Dallas may be America's team, but the Steelers are the world's team. And he is not lying about that. I mean, everywhere in the world you go, any other state that you're in, there are Steelers fans everywhere. I mean, you go down to Tennessee. I think there's more Steelers fans in Tennessee than there are Titans fans, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember that. But it's just ridiculous. Hopefully Ben can play on Sunday, and hopefully Vince Williams can play on Sunday against the Bengals, because if not, well, hopefully, then I could see it. I don't know how Rudolph is going to pull off 2 straight wins against the Bengals and the Jaguars.
Well, I don't think it'll be a 2-week thing. If Ben is fine and good to go, I'm more worried about his knee than I am the COVID stuff, because he already tested negative.
Yeah, okay.
So as long as he just
needs to rest up his knees. And
that's the thing.
And then practice Saturday, because he doesn't need to practice all week.
No, and he doesn't. He takes the first day of practice off because it's a veterans thing. It's like, you know what you're doing, okay?
And what I wrote yesterday in the chat, and Jeff agreed with me, Ben is one tough SOB.
Yeah,
he's the. And that's what makes me mad. He's very underrated. Nobody talks about him. It's always the same 4 or 5 quarterbacks. And the Steelers, we don't do the style points and stuff. We go out there and drag this thing out like a slugfest. I mean, I seriously, that first half, my group message with my buddies, they're like, where are you at, Jeff? Where are you at, Jeff? I'm just like watching the game, because here I am thinking in the first half, the Cowboys are going to beat us.
Yeah.
I wasn't home for most of the first half. And then as soon as I got home, the Steelers scored. It's like, okay, you were clearly waiting on me.
And that's the thing. Like, I've noticed Yeah, when we played the Browns and I think the Titans, we scored on the opening, like, second or third drive.
Yep.
But for some reason, when that 2-minute drill hits, it's just like that's when they get their hot streak going on, if you want to call it that. And I was like, you can't keep on doing that. But I mean, the Steelers are known for slow start, and then once they get started, can't really stop them.
Why do you not just give Ben the second job of offensive coordinator at this point?
Right?
He runs that offense. It was the same thing that happened with Todd Haley. It was the same thing that happened with Bruce Arians. And now it's happening with Fichtner. It's like, let Roethlisberger run the offense. He sees things that you don't.
Yeah. I
mean, it's like, why are you running draw plays on like 3rd and 9 when your running game isn't going anywhere? Like, come on. Like,
I felt bad for Connor though on Sunday. He didn't have nothing going on with him that day.
No.
It was all passing. And
some games are like that.
Yeah. And Ben, I mean, he can still throw the ball down the field, but he can't do it like he used to do. Just make the short plays, let your playmakers do it. You got Juju, you got Claypool, you got Johnson, you got Snell in there. If you need to throw Connor in there as an extra receiver, throw him in there too. He'll be a good receiver as well.
Yep.
So,
and one of the things that really killed the Cowboys on Sunday was stupid penalties.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
And they got hit hard. Like who was the
especially in the fourth quarter
that, basically face palmed? It wasn't Snell.
Oh jeez.
It was 94. I think I can't think of
55.
95.
I made the mention to Jen that hey, the Steelers have problems facing off against 55s on defense.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we do.
So we saw enough of that with
Patrick saved the game again 2 weeks in a row with deflecting the game-winning drive for the other team. Because if he was not there, the Cowboys would have scored.
Yep.
And I don't think would they have won the game? No, they would have just they would have been down what points?
Yeah.
Oh,
something like that. And so we'll see how we do against the Bengals. Joe Burrow, I guess he's doing pretty good as far as I've seen. So
here's something you don't see very often. First of all, I understand the whole, and this is probably in reference to the roughing the passer call where the Ben in the helmet. It's like, hey, that has been a call in multiple games that I've seen. You can't hit the quarterback in the face mask helmet area at all.
Even if you do it on accident.
It's even as like cheap of a roughing the passer call as it is, it's a rule, and you just kind of got to deal with it.
Yep. And McCarthy was livid. He was livid. He's another one that needs to go. I'm sorry. He's just another one of those little crybabies.
Also, Anthony, don't trust Skip Bayless on anything. He's an idiot.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's a Cowboys
Skip
fan.
Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Listen to Shannon Sharp. Skip Bayless has trash opinions, and he always has.
Well, he's a Cowboys fan.
Well, there you go. I mean,
he's gonna.
No offense, Chef, but it's. But let me put it this way: Skip Bayless has trash opinions about sports in general.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's basically he's not as bad as Colin Cowherd by any stretch of the amount. Colin Cowherd still thinks like the Steelers are probably going to go 7-9, even though they've won 8 games. It's like, where look at the disrespect here, son.
Right.
Of course, Colin Cowherd's one of those guys who also talks so much crap about wrestling all those years, so I never respected his opinions.
Yeah, he talks so much crap. It seems like he's going to start upchucking the turds out of his mouth just to make sure he compensates for himself.
It's bad. And Cody Fosterling says, "Listen to Stephen A. Smith." I believe Stephen A. Smith is actually a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind listening to Stephen A. Smith. Do you know who I miss as far as like sports broadcasting? Oh, crap. I just blanked on his name. Stuart Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame he passed away those years ago.
Yep.
Because Stuart Scott was probably like the coolest guy on ESPN. My opinion, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that.
Mike Gonzalez says, as good as the Steelers are, I still think it's the Chiefs and a big gap with everyone else in the AFC. Well, the Chiefs have a loss on their record, which I know they're 7-1 or 8-1 or whatever they are. All these weeks are confusing me because I'm not sure who's had bye weeks, who's been off with COVID or whatever.
Yeah, seriously.
But, I mean, right now the records show that the Steelers are the best team in the NFL. And if the Chiefs lost a game, that means they have a weak spot somewhere. Yeah. Not that the Steelers don't, but it doesn't show on the record. It's one of those things. I don't think the Steelers and the Chiefs play each other this season.
No.
Not until the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs. But yeah, I think we pretty much covered football this week. Obviously, I'm very happy. I still have 2 undefeated teams after this weekend. So hopefully it's the same case after the next weekend and the weekend after that. Yeah, a Notre Dame national championship and a Steelers Super Bowl. That's what I want to see.
Ooh.
In defense of the Steelers, Anthony, any given Sunday. That's why.
You know what? And that's why I'm not trash talking Jeff at all this week. If it would have been like a 49-0 score at the end,
right?
Sure, maybe I could rip Jeff a little bit, but the Cowboys could have won that game.
Yeah. If it would have been it would have been like this rather than this. So it's hiding in the corner and pouting if it had been worse. So
pretty much.
And I was prepared for that. I was ready for that circumstance to be sitting over here in the corner pouting over the blowout. So my boys impressed me, and the Steelers impressed me even more because they were down for 3 quarters,
down by 15, yeah.
And Ben settled up and went, hold my beer, and off he went to the races. So good for him.
And that's after he got hurt too.
Exactly. He got hurt and then he did that ridiculous scoring drive. It's like, we're fucked. There's the one.
Yeah, the Steelers, and this is something I've also joked about with Jazz. Like, Ben Roethlisberger almost plays better hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know. He could have played with a broken elbow last year.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember that? Do you remember the playoff game against the Bengals where Vontaze Burfict decided he wanted to go all UFC and like knee him in the shoulder?
Yes.
And then he came back out for that game-winning drive, which was also
one time he
partially caused by.
I think it was against the Ravens. He played with a broken nose or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, because he got like Samoan spiked in the nose or something.
Yeah.
And then he had 6 touchdowns that game. Like, okay.
Yeah, he's absurd. He really is.
He's the Terminator. He's the Terminator.
You would almost argue for MVP for him this year because of his comeback year.
Yeah.
But he's never received a single MVP vote in all of his years.
Which I don't understand that at all. I don't understand that logic.
I was watching something on one of the clips from Good Morning Football or on CBS or whatever, and somebody mentioned, why has nobody mentioned Ben? Yeah, he doesn't have the stats and all that. We don't have the style points, but the man can win games. He's definitely going to win comeback. He's definitely going to win comeback player of the year, regardless if we go to the Super Bowl or not. Because you take a team to 8-0. I give credit to our defense, credit to our offense, but Ben has been a leader. And if it wasn't for Ben, the Steelers wouldn't be a thing right now. We'd be sitting in the corner pouting and looking at the other teams.
We'd be looking up at the Bengals right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Wayne, you guys can read that yourselves, and I have so many questions.
I'm just face palming.
Did you watch the Bucs and Saints game? Tom Brady played like he was
a rookie.
He played like he was Johnny Manziel. Okay.
You know what? You know what it is? Antonio Brown, the man is a curse. He has not been the same since he left the Steelers, and neither
he
has
has not been the same since Vontez Burfict bullhammered him in the head in that playoff game.
Yeah, yep, yep, and that, yep.
And when I say bullhammer, like I mean he like full out Wade Barrett, bam, elbow to the helmet, knocked his ass out.
Yeah.
If you have not seen the hit, it is a dirty hit, which is of course for Burfict. But I mean, I have not been impressed by Baker Mayfield. And I mean, he found Minkah Fitzpatrick really easy, which appreciate that. You gotta I don't get the Baker Mayfield love. Just because you're a decent quarterback in college with Oklahoma doesn't mean you're going to be good in the NFL.
Johnny Manziel.
Because Mason Rudolph also went to Oklahoma, and he's like, okay. Oklahoma. I don't remember the last time I saw like a decent quarterback. Wait, well, Kyler Murray, I guess.
Yeah,
Kyler Murray was Oklahoma. I was going to say the last time I'd seen a decent quarterback from Oklahoma, but Kyler Murray's currently playing for the Cardinals, so never mind.
There you go.
But Baker Mayfield is, I don't know, and he doesn't have Odell because Odell's out for the season.
He's not in that discussion. I don't think.
No. I mean, you have so many quarterbacks who are better than Mayfield and currently better than Brady. Brady, I don't even think makes the top 10 this year.
No.
And yes, he's Tom Brady, but he ain't playing like it.
No. And see, and that's the problem. People tend to hold Tom up on that pedestal because, oh, well, he's Tom Brady, but no, he's not Tom Brady anymore. That's the thing.
He's not Tom Brady without Belichick.
And yeah, I refuse to give that shithead credit for any reason whatsoever, but Brady is not Brady without Bill. He's not. But by comparison, Bill is not Bill without Tom Brady. We're seeing that right now because he's got Cam Newton, who's one of the better quarterbacks in recent memory. And like I said, they almost lost to the Jets at the end of the discussion. It's just that simple.
Yeah. See you later, folks.
Yeah. And Brady also forgot what down it was a couple weeks ago. So
if I check after that game against the Jets, I'm renegotiating my soul cell to the devil after that game because I'm going, dude, what the hell was that? Like, why? What are you doing to me?
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of think he did that. He sold his soul to the devil, and he had the best 2001 to 2019 with Tom Brady, and the devil's like, you know what? Your time is up.
Yeah.
Your time is up.
It's like it's time to re-up, and you get Cam Newton. And Bill's going, what the? Oh.
I mean, I guess it could have been worse. You could have got Baker Mayfield.
And we're back to Baker.
or he could have got Andy Dalton. It could have been way worse.
Ouch.
Hey, to be fair, Andy's removal from the game at present was not his fault.
Even if he didn't get removed from the game from a concussion, I still wouldn't take Andy Dalton.
No.
Well, Andy Dalton is one of those quarterbacks who was severely overhyped when he was with Cincinnati.
Oh, very much so.
And they never won a playoff game with him.
No.
And why are you hyping? And we're not going to get into the Joe Flacco is elite talk either. Like that person a quick and painful death. Anybody who thinks that Joe Flacco is even close to elite, look at him with the Broncos, look at him with the Jets, look at him with most of the time when he was with the Ravens. He was not that good.
No.
He had one good playoff year that he won the Super Bowl, and good for him for making a butt ton of money off of it because he had
like 5 years.
Yeah, I would take Rodgers. I would take Russell Wilson. I'd freaking take Colin Kaepernick over freaking Joe Flacco. Like I would not. And Kaepernick hasn't played in the league in years. Like why Flacco?
Yeah, it's funny that there's so much hype on Andy when we brought him in for that few plays before he got his bell rung. The guy, I forgive me for not knowing the name. I'm sorry, but the guy who replaced him and is now currently at the helm for the Cowboys, if he was in the system, if we'd have played him last week against the Eagles, we'd have beat the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, they had put in Ben DiNucci, and then they benched him, and then they just put in Gilbert.
Gilbert. Yeah. If Gilbert would have played 4 quarters against Philadelphia, I think we would have won that game.
Yeah, he had a good showing in that game too. He had like 243 passing yards or whatever, and that 1 touchdown and 1 interception.
There was no reason that he shouldn't have played that game, and I get that Andy was the chosen whatever, but it's
the chosen one.
Again, coaching mistakes this year.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've gone way over our limit for football this week. Yeah. Obviously, Big G and I are happy with the results. Jeff is actually not disappointed because the Cowboys play their asses off.
And the freaking NoDQ audience is going, "Where are we at? What's going on?"
Hey, listen! If you've watched this show the last several weeks, fall and winter is football season. We're going to talk about football because we like football.
Yes.
If you don't like football, then tune into the last 20 minutes of the show because we're getting into the next part now.
And to answer your question, this guy experience, Big G is definitely brought on during the football discussion because both Greg and G are of the Pittsburgh Steeler nation. Yeah. So he's going to be here for football discussion. And you know what? Anybody on our extended NoDQ family /team / whatever, as long as they've got a relevant opinion and they're not going to come on here and be about it, go for it.
I'm actually working on trying to get Mike Janela on for an episode. Either of this or if the tournament happens, because I know he's got some wrestling trivia knowledge, so I might bring him in for that.
He does.
So I'm trying to get some names for the trivia tournament. So
I would have Sarah lean on him quite a bit in that case.
Well, I mean, Sarah just does the announcing.
I know, but still.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but if I have her announcing the rules and him in the hot seat, that'd be kind of funny. That'd be a fun show.
Oh, it would be. All right, we're gonna hit some Weird Law Wednesday as we always do with South Carolina, which I don't believe we've done. I really need to go back and make a list of the ones that we've done.
Yes, and for this time of year, you have to check it twice. So
that's very true. All right, so here we go. Weird laws in the state of South Carolina. Here we go. By law, if a man promises to marry an unmarried woman, the marriage must take place. So Don't joke about that.
Yeah, no.
Because if you say it, you got to do it.
Yeah. Let me break in real quick here. I wasn't calling you this guy's married. I was saying if the member of the NoDQ team comes on here and doesn't act like, then they're welcome to be on the show. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Not an insult to you, this guy.
No.
Let's see. A railroad may not remove itself from a town of more than 500 people.
Did you say a railroad?
Yeah. I don't even know what that means.
Don't either.
I have so many questions. Like, okay, so do they mean like there has to be a railroad station in effect if there's more than 500 people in this city? Or I'm still mind boggled by that.
I don't know how it removes itself anyway. Is it like pick up the tracks and move it to a different state? I don't know. How does that work?
If you're in South Carolina, please come on and explain this.
Yes. No work may be done on Sunday in South Carolina.
There you go.
I like that.
If you're traveling to South Bend, you can't do work there either. Hey.
We're here all day.
Had to. Musical instruments may not be sold on Sunday.
That's kind of sad. Well, then again, if you're not working, how are you making sales? That's so.
Yeah. I guess you can't. I guess those two go hand in hand.
Hand in hand, yeah.
Horses may not be kept in bathtubs.
What?
Why would you want to? Like,
wouldn't they break a bathtub?
Maybe the horse.
Honey, can I put Bessie Lou in the bathtub? She just needs a rest.
Now, see, if I'm a horse owner, I would install a bathtub in the barn, and problem solved. There you go.
There you go. And just put some hay around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A permit must be obtained to fire a missile.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're firing missiles in South Carolina, just for the hell of it. Honey, I think my scope's broken. I want to shoot a missile over at Bob. He's grilling again. And he won't give me a steak.
If you're firing missiles in Carolina, you're currently not playing for the Panthers.
Damn.
Oh, burn.
Damn. I thought mine was bad. Damn.
That's always thought we chat by the loss, too. I'm not going to lie. So.
This is concerning.
Oh.
It is perfectly legal to beat your wife on the courthouse steps on Sundays.
So wait you can't work, and you can't buy musical instruments,
but you can beat your wife.
On the courthouse steps.
Yep. On the courthouse steps. So if you want to go over and pile drive her on the courthouse steps on Sunday, feel free because it's legal.
Jesus.
So, you're like, honey, my team lost. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Oh God.
Oh, those poor Panthers fans.
The poor wives of the Panthers fans. Let's not lie here. That's terrible.
Every adult male must bring a rifle to church on Sunday in order to ward off Indian attacks.
Oh my God. There's so much PC wrong in that one sentence. There's so much wrong with that.
Yeah.
I don't write them.
I'm not saying you did. I'm just throwing it out there. Oh my God.
It is a capital offense to inadvertently kill someone while attempting suicide.
Okay.
I mean,
wait. It's a capital offense to accidentally kill someone.
Yeah.
While you're trying to kill yourself. Aren't you a someone?
I think it means. I mean, I can see where you could say that, but I think you mean like if you jump off a building and land on somebody and kill them, but you're still okay.
Okay.
I might be thinking way too much into this.
Well, no, I just you know, if you're gonna take the time to off yourself, then just make sure people are out of line of fire. Or, you're not on the floor or the ground waiting for you when you get there.
Watch out!
Gain weight. I don't need to go to jail for this. Although, if it's capital offense, you're gonna die anyway. So
yeah.
In Greenville, South Carolina.
Here we go, Flare Country. Woo!
The drinking age on Furman University campus is 60 years old.
Wow.
Gives a whole new meaning to senior class party.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, the Horsemen go party, so there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, Flair's fine.
The whole Horseman roster is fine, I think, at this point.
Yeah, that's true. In Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Hilton Head.
One commits a nuisance if he or she leaves a large amount of trash in their own vehicle.
That should be just a general principle.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Ah, the home of no, I'm sorry, wrong. Never mind.
The home of nobody.
Nobody, that's right.
Yeah. In Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm waiting for Jeff to finish his drink.
Sorry.
It is illegal to urinate in the waters of any park.
Oh, I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so too. I mean, that's kind of gross.
A little bit. By the way, we do see the questions in the chat room. We're just waiting to get through this to do the Q&A next. So stand by.
Yeah, we're doing the Q&A next. I will do a couple more of these.
Yeah.
In Spartanburg, South Carolina, eating watermelons in the Magnolia Street Cemetery is forbidden.
I've done a few cemetery visits. I'm not sure if watermelon's a good snack choice. Very messy.
Yeah, here's my question. how many people were eating watermelons in this particular cemetery for this to become an issue?
Yeah, like this exact fine, detailed.
Because it's one thing that's like, oh, doing this is illegal, but doing this in this specific place at this specific time of night, that's a problem. It's like you have a very weird selective group of things happening at the same time.
Right. You keep your watermelon eating in the daytime, people.
Yeah. And finally, in Clemson, South Carolina.
Uh-oh.
Lifeguards must be present at apartment complex pools, but only after 11 p.m.
Well, I would think they'd want people at the pools during the day because when the team's on, they're going to have people trying to, throw themselves in the water and drown. So,
well, the thing is, after 11 p.m., the team stops playing. Hey, now!
Hey, ho!
And that's weird laws from South Carolina.
That's it. I'm going to turn my camera for a second because I need to go grab somewhere after the Q&A, but I will still be here on audio, so stand by.
Yep. All right. So here we go. We are going into the Q&A. And of course, while we do the Q&A, just a reminder tonight that Quizzlemania is back on the Parts of Unknown channel. Tweet at them at Parts of Unknown. Hashtag Cherry for Quizzlemania. Do it during the course of the broadcast too. I will be doing that. So make sure your voices are heard. You want to see the greatest wrestling trivia mind of all time.
That's right.
On Quizzlemania. It's going to happen one of these days. I am not giving up because I am stubborn. I will not give up.
And that's okay. We love you for it.
So here we go. This guy experience finally got my politics as a work shirt in the mail. I appreciate that. I appreciate the sale. Mine is coming soon. I finally got around to ordering my own thanks to people purchasing my shirts. I actually reinvest. So I'm getting that one, and I'm getting, what other one am I getting? I believe I'm getting one for the combat wrestling trivia that I do with Chris Cass. I'm getting that shirt too. I have so many that I want to get. I want to get the Greg Cherry Show shirt. I want to get a couple of Jeff shirts. There's just so many I want to get. Just gotta have the money to do it, This guy experience. Will this show ever have a call-in episode? That's an interesting idea. I don't know how we would pull that off. Maybe do a Skype thing or have you on the air somehow. I'm not sure. It could be a thing where I give you guys the link to the show and I can bring you in if you have a particular question or you want to discuss something. What do you think, Jeff?
I mean, I'm fine with a call in or a video in or whatever. It really we gotta vet these people because I'm not saying that people shouldn't be on the show or whatever, but if a topic we're discussing in the moment warrants a guest discussion, then we can go ahead and go for it. But I'd rather not interrupt the general flow of the show just to have some random stuff going on,
I mean, but it could also be one of those things where it is the flow of the show, where it's just like, hey, because some radio shows do that. They have free call-ins. You can talk about whatever you want. We discuss it for a little bit, and then we move on to the next. It could be one of those things. It's also one of those things we would need the interest to do so. So we would need a solid 6 or 7 people who want to call in on the same show. Let people know. Be like, hey, you can talk about wrestling. You can talk about football. You can talk about life in general, and we'll try and work our way through it.
My bad, guys. I just got an order from DoorDash, and they totally screwed up my order. So I ordered something from Burger King, like a chicken sandwich, and they sent me a Coke and a burger and fries. So I call the guy up, and the guy admits that he effed up. He literally is like, "Oh yeah, sorry about that. I just realized." I was like, "Are you?" Yeah. Oh my god. So
yeah, keep your questions coming. A call-in episode might happen in the future. Perhaps, maybe when the show gets a little bit bigger. When I actually get like a job in the daytime, we may have to move the time of this show to like the evening or something. Because I understand a lot of people work during this time. Maybe not today because it's Veterans Day, so hopefully you shouldn't be working. But perhaps at some point, I would like to do that. I might at some point bring the wheel back for an episode and do the old, hey, if you super chat, I'll do entrances and stuff like that. Because I haven't done that in months, and it's a cool little gimmick that I used to do for my live streams, my Sunday live streams. But I don't do the Sunday live streams because, hey, I'm watching football like every other red-blooded American who enjoys sports.
And that was your biggest spender too, damn it. Okay.
Yeah. Daniel, I have two questions. First, your thoughts on the AEW Games announcement, and how would you book the Murphy and Aaliyah storyline? The AEW Games, I'm excited to see what they do. They're going to have a couple mobile games coming out, and the person who worked on No Mercy is going to be working on the AEW game, which is a big deal. No Mercy is widely regarded as one of, if not the greatest wrestling game of all time for the Nintendo 64. So it's exciting. The graphics are in like a beta stage right now, but they're a little cartoony, but you know, it's okay. It's one of those things that if the gameplay is solid, to me, the graphics are not that important. And as far as how I would book the Murphy and Aaliyah storyline, I wouldn't. Point blank, I wouldn't book it.
It needs to end.
It has been dragging on. Okay, let me work our way through this. The night after Money in the Bank, Seth Rollins went out of his mind and shoved Rey Mysterio's eye into the steel steps.
Yep.
They had a match where Rey Mysterio lost his damn eye.
Yep.
This storyline is still going on. Like, how much more brutal can this get other than you lost your freaking eye?
Correct.
Like, you can't go anywhere else. It's like, sure, you implemented Dominic. You had them win the tag match. Why? Why in the world is the storyline still going on? What is the payoff? What is the payoff? Is Aaliyah doing decently on TV? Sure. I mean, for the position she's being put in. But you need to book them against different people. This is my biggest problem with how they book storylines is that, hey, you have to have the people in a feud battle each other all the time. No, you don't. If you look at like Attitude Era booking, you save those big matches for pay-per-views. You did not put them against each other one-on-one or in tag matches with the people that they're feuding, or you team the people up with each other that are feuding to face somebody else to see, hey, could you work together? Why in the world is this feud still going on?
Yeah, I know.
You have to have a payoff. And they're talking about like this whole marriage storyline, which that means it's going to drag out at least till the Rumble. It's like, my goodness.
It's ridiculous. And now Rollins, and now Buddy is apparently back with Rollins or some kind of like setup or something like that. You got like, you got like storylines intertwined with each other. You got Mysterio and Rollins and Buddy Murphy and Aaliyah and Murphy and Rollins. It's like three storylines in one, and it's ridiculous. I mean, like you said, this thing has been going on since the night after Money in the Bank, and that was what, July, June?
No, I think that was May.
May. So June, July, August, September, October. We're 6 months in, and you figured the big payoff would have been either that eye for an eye match or the match at SummerSlam.
The eye for an eye match seems like an eternity ago, and it seems like it's forgotten. Like,
right?
Yeah, Mysterio has the like half mask thing on his eye, but it's
such
an inconsequential part that it's like, why would you even do the match?
Yeah.
Like the reason why matches like Sasha and Bailey are important, and Reigns and Jey Uso and stuff like that. They're important because they actually feel like the matches and the story has some meaning. With the Rollins and Mysterio stuff, it's like, hey, we just got to get these guys on TV and we got to give them something to do. And none of it feels important. It doesn't feel important to me at all.
This is definitely hurting Rollins right now. I mean, he could be off doing better and bigger things. I mean, Mysterio and Dominic could be going after the SmackDown tag team titles. You know, just I don't know what their end game is. You know, I mean, we got Survivor Series coming up, and then TLC, and that's the last pay-per-view of the year. They should not drag this into the next year.
No, and you've already done Ray and Rollins. You've already done Dominic and Rollins. You've already done Dominic and Ray against Rollins and Murphy.
Yep.
What other combination can you do that's going to mean something? You've done Dominic and Murphy, and you've seen all of the matches you could possibly see these 4 people be in.
Yeah.
What can you do? But it almost seems like it's one of those train wreck situations. It's like you can't look away from it. Like your eyes are.
Sorry, I went out there for a minute. Sorry, I was in a discussion. I apologize, you guys.
No, you're fine.
Do you want to touch on this, Jeff? Because we're exhausted with the storyline.
Yeah, they asked yesterday on Mikey's show. I didn't get a chance to talk to. I mean, I don't see a end game for this whole thing, other than like Elon says here, Dominic joining Rollins, which would be a swerve, but it's what more can you do at this point? You've got freaking Aaliyah with Murphy, without Murphy. You've got Murphy with Rollins. It's become such a train wreck. It's almost like you have to look away because it's that bad.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things where I feel like Dominic joining Rollins would be a swerve for the sake of swerving. It seems very esque.
Yeah. Right.
Just to do it. You need to move on to other people. Otherwise, you're going to kill any relevance Dominic Mysterio has, because it'll be like, oh, well, all he does is feud with Rollins. He doesn't have matches with anybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Daniel follows that up with, how would you book the ending of the Murphy Aaliyah storyline? Quite frankly, I would do since they've gone this far, do like a wedding gimmick where the two of them say, hey, we're going to get married because we're so in love with each other. And then have Rollins and Murphy talk about how it's like a trap. Aaliyah gets upset, and then they beat the crap out of them. And then they do like a love her or leave her match or something like that. Like a tag team match.
Yeah.
And then Mysterio and like Rey Mysterio and Dominic win, and then Rollins and Murphy, whatever they do, I don't know.
Yeah, at this point, it's like I care less about this storyline. It's just like we said, it's just gone on way, way, way too long.
It's almost at the point where it's like, hey, Authors of Pain got fired, and they got the better end of the deal than being in the storyline.
Right? Oh my god. I'm sure they'll be the next tag team to show up in AEW, though. That wouldn't surprise me. Maybe.
I mean, they were released back over the summer, so which one was it? Akon or Razor that was hurt?
I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah. Anywho, any more lovely questions out there?
I think we covered the gamut, honestly. But thank you, Big G, for being on the show.
Not a problem. Glad to be on.
Yes. Jeff, of course, as always, thank you for being on the show.
I have a litany of plugs here in the overlay, if you want me to go ahead and run through them real quick here before we sign off.
Do your thing.
All right. So tomorrow on the Jeff Meacham Network side of things, and actually it'll be on the Greg Trey brand too, because Greg's the co-host of the show, as we know. Wrestling Rewind will be back with Daniel Bryan, the WWE champion, taking on Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. That'll be from Survivor Series 2 years ago, which it seems silly to go only back 2 years. Some people would say, but I love this match. I actually just watched it back last night, prepping for tomorrow's show, and it came out very well. I was surprised it went as well as it did. But remember, you had the new Daniel Bryan, the devious Daniel Bryan, so it was much more even showing than you would think from the Yes Man, who wasn't the Yes Man at the time, obviously. And then as of now, tentative, the Great No DQ debate may or may not be back tomorrow between Robbie Weiss and myself over the presentation of AEW. As we got quite into some Twitter heavy discussions over on Saturday over the Full Gear show, so we'll see how that goes if it does happen. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen yet.
I can't wait for that one.
And then Friday, Mr. Cherry here has the challenge of his life as of now, anyway. On day 979 of his historic NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Challenge Championship reign, as a blast from the past, a name from the past, Stagger Lee returns to the IWC for the first time in 12 years to challenge Greg for the championship. Not a fan of that picture myself. Lee doesn't like that picture either, but we don't have any current stuff right now, so it kind of is what it is. But he'll be on Friday. Friend of mine who is a wonderful cosplayer and model in general. She her name is let me get the picture up here. Alexandra the Red. I promised her I would plug her latest photo shoot she posted on her page at patreon.com/Alexandra the Red. So there is that. It's called Cabin Fever, and I'll leave it at that. Of course, you can find me over on YouTube. If you're watching on the YouTube page for me, I appreciate that. YouTube.com/Jeff Meacham, Anchor.fm/Jeff Meacham Network, Twitter, Instagram _Jeff Meacham, Facebook at Jeff Meacham Network. And of course, as always with our shows,
buy the shirt.
Yeah,
the shirt. There you go.
Teespring.com/stores/ you see the links right there for all of those.
It's not showing for me, so I'm glad you guys can see it, because I can't see it on my screen. So okay, cool.
Yep, it's up there. Great Cherry Brand, Jeff Meacham Network, NoDQ, COM.
And again, you're watching the Great Cherry Brand YouTube, so you know where you are. So we appreciate that. And of course, Twitter and Instagram, Great Cherry Brand, Facebook, Great Cherry Brand, and even Twitch.
Yes.
.tv /Great Cherry Brand. So
live on Twitch right now.
We're on
I
Twitch
need to get back
baby.
to the gaming side of things. I've been meaning to do some Mario gaming on like the Super Mario 35 and Super Mario Maker 2. I just have not got around to doing them.
Yeah, I need to get back to playing the Switch. I bought that recent WWE game. I can't even think of the name now, and I haven't played it. So
yeah, WWE Battlegrounds.
Yeah, Battleground. Thank you. Oh my god, I bought the game and I don't even remember the name.
Clearly not that memorable then. I've heard decent things about it. I don't know. I'm kind of. It's one of those things. Like I didn't get 2K20. I'm not really interested in getting Battlegrounds either. I'm kind of over the platform games right now until they come out with something decent. So that's why I'm really looking forward to the AEW game. Like whatever they call that, it might be like AEW Dynamite or something, which would be my guess. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to see what they pull out. I'm sure they'll have Daly's Place as a place where the arenas are.
And then they got like 2 mobile games coming out too, I believe.
Yeah, they got a casino game and they got like a GM, like a general manager type game.
That'll be interesting.
But both of them should be fun. There was a little controversy saying if the casino game was real money gambling or not. I doubt it would be. I think it's just like one of those casino games where you just spin slots, you win coins, and you level up or something like that. Yeah. I might be wrong, but I'm hoping it's not like a full gambling game because I don't know if you can do that. So until next time, we're hoping that the Irish and the Steelers remain undefeated after this coming weekend. And then the Irish are off Survivor Series weekend, so that should be nice. But we will trudge along. As always, watch it tonight. I've plugged it a few times during the show. Hashtag Cherry for Quizzlemania. Let's get the greatest wrestling trivia mind ever.
Yes.
On to Quizzlemania. That is the goal. I will be on tonight. Not actually on the show, but I'll be watching. I'll be in the comment section. But that's the goal. Sorry, David Diaz. It didn't happen before.
Yeah.
Didn't happen before then, but you'll still have a shot to get in the tournament with what we were talking about. Yeah. Should that happen, but we'll get there when we get there.
I had this. I forgot I was going to show it on the air. This came yesterday in the mail, so it'll be on tomorrow's show.
Nice. All right,
Trey Brand, baby.
Yep. So until next time, watch Quizzlemania tonight. Support your boy, and until next time, we will see you on the Greg Cherry Show. Where is my end graphic?
On it.
Thank you. See you next time.
Oh shit, where'd it go? You're right. Hang on. I forgot to get out here. I was trying to add other stuff. Sorry about that.
Took it away from me.
Come on. There it is. I got it.
Okay. See you next time.
Oh, toad sucker. We will see you guys next week right here on the Greg Cherry Show.
Ugh.